Today on People Now, the passing of a legend. Fashion icon Karl Lagerfeld has died. We have details as tributes pour in from the fashion world.
A wild ride at SeaWorld ends with passengers being rescued. We'll tell you what happened.
Colton Underwood's 3 one-on-ones take some unexpected turns on The Bachelor. Nick Viall, Caila, Quinn, and Corinne Olympios are here live to break it all down.
Inside Meghan Markle's surprise visit to New York City.
We're going to probably make a move in the next month or two.
Kelsey Grammer weighs in on a possible Frasier reboot and what he loves most about playing the villain in his new legal drama.
It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you.
Hello.
Welcome to People Now. How are you?
I mean, a long weekend was nice. That was really great.
Long weekend was good. I got a cough along the way.
Oh,
I was up all night, so if I burst into coughing
well, don't
during
get
this,
us sick.
you'll know why. Yeah, enjoy, everybody.
Great, now we're going to be paranoid.
Emergency needs to be dispersed among everyone. Anyway, great to see you guys. Glad that you're here. We're actually beginning today with some sad news to start the show off with the passing of a fashion icon. Watch this.
I never wanted a different life. I'm pretty happy with what I got. We have to manage with what we got, and I managed to that.
That is Chanel creative director Karl Lagerfeld, who has passed away at the age of 85. The fashion icon's accomplished designs, as well as trademark white ponytail and dark glasses, dominated high fashion for over 50 years. He was the creative director for Chanel, Fendi, and his own line as well. Now, not only was Lagerfeld one of the most well-regarded designers in fashion, he was also a highly regarded photographer and director. Stars like Donatella Versace, Iman, Linda Evangelista, and Victoria Beckham all paid tribute to the legend on social media, with Beckham calling him kind, generous, and a genius. He was born in Germany to a wealthy family. He later immigrated to France, where he focused his education on drawing and history. Now, Lagerfeld was known for his work within Chanel for keeping the fashion house of the moment and of the time. He spoke after one of his fashion shows in London in 2007 about the importance of all this. Take a look.
It's not only that they have to keep the tradition of the past, but they also have to continue to evolve, to go with times and fashion. If you let it in the hand of the people who own it and who have no generation to take over, they would be, we do this and nothing else. We need people with great craftsmanship, but a craftsmanship what can go ahead. We use the knowledge of the past and add knowledge of the future.
Multiple outlets are reporting there is no confirmed cause of death. However, the news of his passing comes several weeks after Lagerfeld missed Chanel's Spring 2019 Haute Couture show in Paris. That was on January 22nd. Now, amid the news of Lagerfeld's passing, Chanel has named Virginie Viard as the new creative director. Viard worked alongside Lagerfeld for decades as the brand's fashion studio director. We're going to have more on Karl Lagerfeld's passing and what the future of the fashion house will look like going forward. That's coming up in just a bit. Guys, some more sad news here. Kiel Roston, the husband of singer Charo, is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. According to TMZ, the former TV producer shot himself around 2 p.m. on Monday in his Beverly Hills home where he and Charo lived. The outlet reports that Charo was home at the time. Someone else in the house called 911. Paramedics then responded to the call and rushed Roston to the hospital, but they were unable to save him, and he was pronounced dead. Charo and Kiel were married for more than 40 years and share one child, actor and producer Shel Roston. Kiel, Charo, and Shel all appeared on a 2015 episode of Celebrity Wife Swap, where they swapped with Charo's old Love Boat co-star, Jill Whelan. Charo's rep tells Entertainment Tonight that the singer has no comment and asks for respect for the family's privacy at this time. Roston was 79 years old. More details about this on People.com. All right, guys, wow, scary story here. 16 people took a ride they will never forget at SeaWorld San Diego as multiple gondolas stopped working, leaving them trapped overnight. Now, thankfully, all of them have been safely rescued, according to the San Diego Fire Rescue Department. Around 6 gondolas stopped working Monday night after a big gust of wind tripped a circuit breaker. The San Diego Fire Rescue Department and the San Diego lifeguards rescued the stranded passengers in an operation that took multiple hours. Very scary stuff, hard to see in the dark. Take a look at this video of the rescue, though. I mean, it looks scary. Obviously, some height there to those gondolas. The riders were lowered by the fire rescue personnel from the gondolas one by one using harnesses. They were then rescued by waiting lifeguard boats below and evaluated by medical crews. Can't even imagine the relief those riders felt when their feet touched the boat after being stranded in the air for hours Really scary stuff. In total, there were 9 adults, 7 children that were rescued. The National Weather Service says it was around 49 degrees in San Diego at the time of the incident, with the park saying there were blankets on board the ride. Now, SeaWorld also said in a statement that the Bayside Sky Ride will only be reopened after a thorough inspection. Sure hope so. Glad everyone made it out okay.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, really scary. Well, guys, it's almost hometown week on The Bachelor if you've been tracking along, and we know you have. Colton Underwood starting to feel the pressure here. Watch this.
So pretty much Katie told me that there's still someone or some people here that aren't ready, and I'm just scared because it hasn't only been her. I trust Katie so much, so I would have read into it a little bit, but the fact that I said goodbye to Sydney this week and she said the same thing, and then I said goodbye to Demi this week and she said the same thing, that's 3 people that had the same thing to say while they were saying goodbye to me.
I like the sad cam. That was an interesting addition.
Sad cam.
His biggest concern thus far, saying goodbye to 3 women, Sydney, Demi, Katie, who all warned him that some of the remaining contestants weren't ready to commit. Warning signs are there. They're everywhere. In need of a fresh start, Colton headed home to Denver, Colorado this week, where he met up with Season 20's Bachelor Ben Higgins to get a little advice from the guy who it didn't really all work out that well. In that conversation, Colton sounded more confused than ever, admitting to Ben that he has fallen for multiple women, but lacking the reassurance that he needs to move forward and meet their families next week. It's kind of a tough thing. We're going to unpack all of it, that ensuing drama that's coming up a little later in the show, including Colton's 3 very interesting one-on-ones with Tayshia, Caila, and Hannah B, plus a shocking group date. We'll be joined by Bachelor alums Caila, Quinn, Corinne, Olympios, and Nick Viall, so you definitely want to stick around for that. I'm actually really excited for this one. That was a good episode.
I know, it was a good one.
We'll go more in depth on Tayshia's decision to drop a pretty major bombshell on Colton. She told him on her one-on-one that Cassie and Caila aren't genuine. She went for it.
Are they not there for the right reason?
Hard to imagine. I can't even imagine that.
It got us thinking, is it ever a good idea to talk about the other girls on The Bachelor? I feel like it usually doesn't work out, but hey, let us know what you think by voting in our People poll, or just tweet us your answer and your thoughts with the hashtag PeopleNow.
We'll check in on your answers in a little bit, but for now, Andrea, you have more for us in Star Trek.
I do. We are kicking off Star Trek today with a royal baby bash. Meghan Markle has arrived in New York City for a secret celebration. A source tells People that the Duchess of Sussex, who's expecting her and Prince Harry's first child in late April, is getting a baby shower. Wouldn't you love to see Meghan in New York City?
All I want to do is find her in the city.
I would go crazy. So it's no surprise that Meghan's friends want to throw her a party, especially considering what a loyal friend she is to them. One confidant recently described their friendship to People, saying, "Whenever something good is happening in my life, she celebrates with me first. And when there's hardship, she's there with a Kleenex and a shoulder and a glass of wine, and the best chat and a book that will help me pull me out of wherever I am." Sounds like a great friend. News of her baby shower comes just before Harry and Meghan jet off to Morocco for a 3-day visit, highlighting 2 of their key causes: girls' education and youth empowerment. Meghan's royal patronages also include working with the National Theatre, higher education, animal welfare, and helping vulnerable women regain employment. All right, now take a look at this. That is so fun. That's Reese Witherspoon shaking her stuff with Harlem Globetrotter Ant Atkinson. At a show on Sunday in Los Angeles, the 42-year-old actress jumped on the court to show off her moves, but the mood shifted from silly to loving when her husband, Jim Toth, hopped off the bench and joined Reese for a sweet slow dance to My Girl. Take a look. I love that. As the lights dimmed, the crowd whipped out their flashlights on their phones, sang along as the couple danced to the Temptations classic. Now, their 6-year-old son, Tennessee, was even on hand to watch the special moment from the sidelines. No word yet on if he thought it was cool or if he was totally embarrassed at mom and dad being romantic in public. I don't know. He's 6. Probably thought it was cool, right? The couple tied the knot in March of 2011. Shortly after their 5th wedding anniversary, Reese opened up to People about her husband, saying he's an incredible man, a wonderful organizer, a great leader. He knows how to get people together, adding he's very patient and funny with the kids, and he really encourages them to see the humor in life. Reese also has 2 children with her ex, Ryan Phillippe, 19-year-old daughter, Ava, and 15-year-old son, Deacon. All right, we move on to this. Halsey is denying rumors she is pregnant after a cryptic tweet had fans wondering if baby was on the way. So it all started with this tweet Halsey posted on Monday, where she teases that she has the biggest secret. She even goes on to say, when fans hear the news, some of you are gonna explode. And as you might expect, Twitter just went wild with speculation after that, with many of her followers convinced that she was pregnant. Halsey then returned to social media an hour later to clear things up, joking that she was gaining weight and acting weirder than usual, but adding, however, still not pregnant. All right. Meanwhile, she released a new collaboration with British rocker Youngblood last week. The two are reportedly dating and have stepped out together on numerous occasions over the past few months. Now, this comes after Halsey split from on-again, off-again ex-boyfriend G-Eazy in October of 2018. They began dating back in the summer of 2017. All right, she's not pregnant. And those are your Star Treks for today.
I think it was a leap to think that she was pregnant, of all things.
Yeah.
Stay with us, guys. Kelsey Grammer weighs in on a possible Frasier reboot. Could it really be happening, guys? We hope so. Plus, we've got 3 Bachelor Nation alums in the house: Nick Viall, Corinne, Olympios, and Caila Quinn. They're helping us break down last night's dramatic episode. That's coming up in just a bit.
All right, let's check in on our Bachelor-themed question of the day. We've been asking you, is it ever a good idea to trash talk the competition when you're on The Bachelor? Tayshia said some not so positive things about Cassie and Kaylin on her date, so let's see what you guys are thinking.
No, it never
works out.
100% agree, yeah. And look, by far the majority knows that, but yet it must be in that situation when you're on the show, you can't help yourself. Every one of these women has seen the previous seasons. They know it's not a good look.
But when you're in the moment, it's like a competition. You want to... Well, we'll talk more about it later.
And if you really care and you really see someone that doesn't seem to care, you got to let them know.
Yeah.
True love, guys. Keep voting. We're going to check in on our poll again a little later, and we'll get Nick, Corinne, and Kayla's take on the drama. But first, we move on to this.
All right, we mentioned earlier in the show the news of fashion icon Karl Lagerfeld's death. So he started at Chanel in 1983 as chief designer, went on to influence the fashion house for decades.
Yeah, fashion insiders now wondering what will Chanel look like going forward, what's in the future for them. Chanel already named a new creative director, Virginie Viard. She worked alongside Karl for decades as the brand's fashion studio director.
Yeah, very sad news, and celebs from the fashion industry are continuing to pay their tributes. Donatella Versace says she was inspired by Karl for her own designs. Victoria Beckham called him a genius. And Bella Hadid posted a very emotional tribute on Instagram saying nothing feels right after his death.
Yeah, so you can tell the fashion world especially really feeling the weight of the loss here. Model Cindy Crawford also posted on social media that Lagerfeld would be missed by all who love fashion. Lagerfeld was also a controversial figure. He was outspoken against French politics. He would remark on celebrities' appearances, made lots of headlines for some pretty negative things and kind of controversial things.
He made a lot of harsh comments about everyone from Pippa Middleton to Adele. He also famously said things like, you want to create boredom, be politically correct in your conversation.
Yeah, so always kind of put it out there. He was who he was, and kind of unapologetically. He said vanity is the healthiest thing in life. He did, by the way, lose 40 pounds just so he could wear certain suits. So that was kind of part of his mystique as well. Yeah.
Phrases, yeah. And Lagerfeld was a recognizable figure around the world with his white hair pulled back in a ponytail, black sunglasses, fingerless gloves, bold collars. He definitely had a distinct look.
Well, yeah, you look at him, and that's part of, it's like he had this huge hand in fashion, but also created his own kind of, I keep saying the word mystique, it sounds dumb, but that's how it feels. He had this whole aura about him and this persona. Lagerfeld was notably missing from Chanel's recent spring fashion show. People took note of that. A cause of death has yet to be confirmed, but you can stay on people.com as more information comes in on this whole situation. We wish, of course, everyone close to him the best.
All right, guys, so did you see this over the weekend? Miranda Lambert, a married woman. This was actually very shocking to me. Kind of came out of nowhere.
So Miranda Lambert's romance with her brand new hubby, Brendan McLoughlin, might seem like a whirlwind, but their speedy walk down the aisle, it didn't surprise Miranda's friends at all. One friend tells People exclusively, quote, if you know Miranda's dad and his background, you can guess why she would easily connect with Brendan.
Yeah, so Brendan, an NYPD cop. Miranda's father, Rick, also worked in law enforcement as a former homicide and narcotics cop for Dallas PD, so they have that connection.
Yeah. Brendan was publicly applauded by the NYPD last March when he apprehended a perpetrator in a bank robbery.
Wow.
Doing some stuff.
Yeah, and a source confirms to People that Brendan is also a new dad. He recently welcomed a child from a previous relationship. We're just learning about him now, so we're kind of digging up all these details.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, Miranda's parents, they ran a private detective agency when she was a kid. They actually were hired by Paula Jones lawyers to investigate Bill Clinton.
Wow.
Are Miranda and Brendan going to launch a crime-fighting organization? I don't know, but it might happen.
But, okay, they actually didn't get married over the weekend. They got married January 26th, but Miranda revealed the news this past weekend in honor of Valentine's Day. So in an Instagram post, she thanked Brendan for, quote, loving me for me.
A source confirmed to People that the couple first met on November 2nd in New York. We're kind of trying to put the pieces together here
yeah,
on exactly how they met.
We're trying to figure this out.
Our own detective work. We're going to hire her parents to figure this out.
All right, so this is what we think happened. I mean, we know that this happened. Lambert was in New York City with her band Pistol Annies as guests on GMA and to perform a concert later in the evening. Now, the NYPD confirmed to People that Brendan is assigned to the South Midtown Precinct, which includes the area Lambert performed in.
So
you know that that's kind of that's the day that they met.
Circling the spots, like this is his beat.
And he's known to work crowd control following concerts. So did they meet after the concert?
Was he just happened to be there right beside the stage and she was like, hey,
look,
how's it going?
I work New Year's Eve in Times Square. There's a lot of hot cops. So I could see maybe she was like, hey, you're hot.
And in uniform,
here's my number.
I don't know. But meeting your husband that way, kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked out.
Definitely.
We have to get to the bottom of next time we talk to her, we get an interview with her. We're going to get down to the bottom of some of these little details, the nuances.
I think it's going to come out now that we know that she's married and she has a husband. I think we're going to find out more details about how they met and their whole love story.
Of course, we tracked along with her. Lambert was married to Blake Shelton from 2011 to 2015, the former People's Sexiest Man Alive. Isn't fazed by Lambert's new marriage, everybody. A source told People that Shelton has moved on and, quote, put Miranda in his rearview mirror long ago. Miranda brings nothing positive to his life. That's the source quote.
I think we need to stop linking them because he's very happy with Quinn.
And she's very happy too. I think she's put him in the rear view.
Yeah, but it's hard because they were such a hot item in the country world back then. All right, but they're not. She's in the rear view mirror. All right, moving on to this. Watch.
You're right. They are really great people.
Well, I didn't say that.
That was a clip from Netflix's series Friends from College. Unfortunately for the show's fans, it's being canceled.
Yeah, so the news came on Monday through a tweet from the show's co-creator, Nicholas Stoller. People are really upset about this. So in the tweet, Stoller says Friends from College will not be returning for a third season. Thanks to everyone who watched it. Happy President's Day. Yeah, there are a lot of people upset about the cancellation news. Fans of the show have already been filling Twitter feeds with the question, why? Well, look at some of the reactions now. Yeah.
So Courtney right there says, Friends from College has been canceled. I am truly heartbroken. Some people following up on her tweet mentioning all the unresolved plot lines,
That's
which is
what happens.
obviously frustrating.
At Whit Snow says, hearing about Friends from College being canceled with this gif. Then at Where Summer tweets, just when I finished Friends from College season 1, actually get into it, Netflix decides to cancel the show. It's kind of what happens, right?
Hasn't been confirmed why exactly the show is canceled. The news comes following other Netflix cancellations like Jessica Jones, which they shoot in my neighborhood, by the way. So I'm sad that I won't be seeing that. Or actually, it opens up parking, so good. Glad it's gone. The Punisher, time travel drama, Travelers, and American Vandal, they're all canceled as well.
Okay, American Vandal is one of my favorite shows.
No,
I'm actually more upset about that one. I don't know why. That one was canceled. So I'm feeling the frustration about these other fans, that their reaction to Friends from College. Anyway.
News also follows some big news from Friends from College co-star Billy Eichner. Eichner revealed on Twitter he's working on and starring in a new movie with Judd Apatow and Friends from College co-creator Stoller. So Eichner's tweet read, excited, terrified, completely in shock, and proud to announce this movie. We're making a big new romantic comedy for Universal. A lot of people really excited about this. I think it's going to be great with those guys all behind it.
Yeah, so it's still untitled, but it's a gay romantic comedy about two men with commitment issues. Wow, men with commitment issues?
You'd be surprised. Yeah, I can't imagine.
They're trying to build a relationship. Eichner is also co-writing the film. He received streams of support from the LGBTQ community, and in a follow-up tweet, he promised he will not let them down.
We'll be looking for that.
Kelsey Grammer stars in the new legal drama Proven Innocent. It's about a legal team taking on cases of the wrongfully convicted, and Kelsey plays an attorney who actually put most of the wrongfully convicted behind bars. So he told me about his initial reaction when he was offered the role, plus what it's like playing the villain. Take a look.
Well, you know, it's funny. I didn't actually read the script first. They had shot the pilot before I joined the show, and the actor that was playing the role I was playing was wonderful in it. I think maybe they just decided they wanted to go with somebody more like me, honestly. Mm-hmm. And so I came in and watched the pilot, and I thought, yeah, I can shape this guy a little differently, like sort of give him a few more notes, and so that's what appealed to me. And I thought, yeah, there was a potential to play something I hadn't played before, so. That's what usually does it. The challenging thing about playing this guy was he's not like an in-your-face monster. He's a guy with a lot of good motives. Mm-hmm. So I had to play that. I can't actually play the monster in this. I mean, he has reasons for why he behaves the way he does. And he has a kind of insecurity about him because he hasn't quite cemented his place in the universe yet. You know, he's still looking for that. So he became an interesting character to play to me.
So Kelsey later joked that he didn't need to talk to any lawyers to prepare for the role because he's talked to enough in his lifetime. And as if he wasn't busy enough promoting his new show, February seems to be the busiest and, according to Kelsey, the most expensive month of the year.
Kate's birthday is on the 4th. Then there's Valentine's Day. Then there's my daughter Greer's birthday on the 15th. I'm flying home tonight, actually, and we're going to take her to dinner tomorrow night. And then there's my birthday, and then there's our wedding anniversary on the 25th. So the entire month of February is pretty expensive as a rule.
Yeah.
I save up each year for February.
Are you a big gift giver?
I am.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. So you put a lot of detail and...
It's not so much detail. It's like something, you know,
more
simple like a car.
Oh, okay. Oh, simple like a car.
Not just say, well, you know, I didn't want to go shopping. Here's a car.
You know what? That's a great gift.
It's
I think
bad.
most people would appreciate that. Just a casual car gift. Obviously, I couldn't let Kelsey go without asking him about a possible Frasier reboot. So fans obsessed over the character of Dr. Frasier Crane for 2 decades and are really excited about the possibility of a reboot. The question is Dr. Crane listening?
I just have been listening to a few pitches, all of which I liked. There's a couple other writers that I respect that I want to hear. And then we're going to probably make a move in the next month or two. There's a lot of different destinies that people have hatched for Frederick. And yeah, surely he needs to be part of the show. I like this sort of, I like the one where Frederick actually ends up being more like Martin was instead of Frasier. I'm sort of drawn to that. Instead of a tortured, we've had the pitch where he was tortured and, you know, didn't know what his identity was, all sorts of stuff. And I thought, no, I think his granddad is who he became. Yeah. And I really like that. So we'll see what happens.
It's just been a lot. There's too many distractions going on. I don't know what to make of them. I don't know what to think of them. I don't know where my head's at with all of it. I wanted and I needed more out of this week, and I'm not getting it. Because what I heard makes me question everything. I feel more confused than ever. I'm headed into hometowns. I have no clue what I'm gonna do.
Oh boy, last night's episode of The Bachelor was full of drama, twists and turns, just how we like it. Here to break down all the highlights are Bachelor alums like Caila, Quinn, former Bachelor Nick Viall, and Corinne Olympios. Welcome, everybody.
Good to see you
What's
guys.
up?
Thanks for being here. All right, before we get into last night's episode, Corinne, you're on next season. Look, guys, here you are back. Feeling good. Thanks for joining us all together. We really appreciate it. And it's good to see that Bachelor Past can be Bachelor Past, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Shocking. And it's shocking. Yeah. It's shocking, and we move forward.
Let's talk about the clip you just saw. It's crazy that 3 women now have warned him about people not being there for the right reasons. What do you make of this, and how is this going to impact the show moving forward?
I feel like they all are on the same page, and so maybe she really isn't there for the right reasons, but no matter what, they shouldn't speak their mind in that way. It's really his decision.
I think they all believe their own truth.
You kind of can tell. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's all most likely a lot to do about nothing. I kind of believe everyone in the sense that I believe that I'm sure Cassie and is it Caila? Mm-hmm. They probably had a conversation about what life might be like post-show.
Because I'm sure
everyone does.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I don't take much stock in them looking nervous. Usually the people who are the most emotionally invested usually react the most to cryptic feedback from The Bachelor. So that was kind of like the excuse of like, well, I know you did it because you looked nervous is a lot to do about nothing. I don't really buy that. But I do believe that everyone thinks they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think?
I do too.
I just think that when you're there, like, that's really all you're focused on, and a lot of the same thing. You just, like, start believing these things, and you, like, take maybe, like, one sentence and get it all twisted up in your head because you're just so anxious and you're so nervous, and you're just, like, all you're thinking about is this one person and wanting to end up with them, so you can just really...
Yeah, and everyone thinks that they're protagonist in their own story, right?
Yeah.
No one like thinks they have bad intentions.
Well,
like, they all probably believe.
Plus, you don't want to talk about life after the show and say, when I live with Colton, I can't wait to.
How ridiculous would that
That would be very presumptuous.
You get called out for that too.
Yeah, either way.
Wow.
You can't do any right, almost.
Yeah.
It's like...
Everything can and will be used against you,
like
basically, even in the most...
There's a lot of gotcha.
Yeah.
A lot of gotcha moments.
Talk about this. Former Bachelor Ben Higgins, he was in the episode kind of giving Colton some advice moving forward. What do we think of the advice that he gave?
I feel like, Ben speaks from the heart, and it was really good advice. And you know, Colton will make the best decision.
He's kind of like, be more direct, go with your gut, but isn't that what Colton has been doing the whole time?
Yeah, I actually skipped that part, but I assume he said, like, follow your heart.
I totally, like, was on my phone during that part.
I think a lot of people were, actually.
I know, I'm not really a big fan when they bring back past people. I'm like,
well, it's kind of like, I love Ben, but it's always the same thing. It's like, oh, this is where it gets tough, but follow your heart. Be brave and don't be afraid to, like, you know.
Yeah, would you, as a former Bachelor, was there any advice that you would give, Nick?
True.
Now that we've established that we hate what
this is
I mean, like, the advice I got that I always say that I took to heart from a previous contestant was from Lauren when I had dinner with Ben and Lauren, and she really emphasized just if you if you have a feeling who you might pick, you really got a way to try to protect that relationship. And I tried to take that to heart just because you really wanted to make it work, and that's hard to do because you have to take everyone's feelings in consideration, but that is something that I try to think about while going through it. But the rest of it, it's just, you know, every Bachelor is going to try to be considerate, and every Bachelor is going to try to follow their heart.
Sure.
And, you know, try to just kind of shift through the rest.
We know it's all been taped and it's happened, but as far as advice for the other remaining contestants, especially the ones that end up moving on and not being picked, what's the advice for next steps, right? Like how to bounce back immediately after?
Look at that beach body ready for paradise.
Definitely, always be prepared. Don't say never. Like, if people ask you, would you go on Paradise? Never say never.
Yeah. Your favorite filter?
Yeah, get ready for that.
Be consistent with your filters.
Yeah.
Do you have
curate the page.
Yeah.
Just a lot of that.
Yeah. All of the above.
Also, yeah, definitely shop. Yeah.
The first one-on-one in the episode went to Tayshia. Like we discussed, she revealed to Colton that Caila and Cassie might not be genuine. So we kind of talked about it, but do you think that, what side do you believe more? Tayshia's side or Cassie and Caitlyn's? Like, do you pick a side in this?
I believe everyone. I mean, I think they all believe that they're there for the right reasons. I think they're all there for the experience, and I think some people throughout the process develop real feelings, and I believe that Cassie and Caila at this point have real feelings for Colton. I do think that's sincere. Regardless of when they first showed up, they fantasize what it might be like post-show and what if they were the Bachelorette, but I think it often happens to go into that world and have the big unknown and not know what to expect, and then surprisingly develop these feelings for someone you probably went in thinking, I don't know if I'll like the guy, and then you do, and then who knows what will happen. But I also think, like, you know, again, there's this whole like disconnect between the older women who are not that old and the younger women.
Younger than me.
And I believe that probably the older women are looking at the 23-year-olds and being like, there's no way they're ready to get married. And they probably believe that, right? And so they probably are unfairly kind of biasly judging them. But I think the other women who are younger, they're having feelings.
Yeah,
so.
what do you think, Corinne?
I just, like, because I was like doing like some immature things, like having a bounce house or whatever, you know, people were just like, oh my God, you're so not ready for marriage. Like, why does that mean I'm not ready for marriage? Like, you don't know. First of all, you don't know anything.
Right.
Like, that's going on inside my head. It's my head.
And it's one moment.
So, yeah.
And
it's like, sorry
show.
that I'm trying to have fun and, like, just let loose. And I'm not, like, all stuffed myself in a bottle or something like you guys. Like, not down. So, I don't know. I just think it's, like, really annoying when people are like, you're not ready.
We've been asking our viewers, is it ever a good idea to trash talk the competition when you're on a Bachelor date? Tayshia said some obviously not so positive things about Cassie and Caila on her date. We'll see what you guys, I think the voting is pretty lopsided here.
Ever.
Yeah.
Do we have it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's never works out. But, however, like I was saying earlier, every one of these women have seen previous seasons and know that it doesn't work out. Is it just like you can't help it in the moment, but to bring other people up?
You know, like I feel like the girls that do that feel like they have to, like, defend themselves.
But you really don't need to answer the question. Like, I remember, you know, him asking me about gossip in the house, and I just chose not to answer. So just.
It's like you can divert and like make it more about you.
Exactly.
And
it's tough for those people, and they, you know, Colton's definitely asking, and he's like, "Come on."
Yeah.
You know?
Well, especially when he's teeing it up, right? I mean,
it's definitely the right thing to do is to not say anything, but it's easier said than done.
But wouldn't you want to get to the bottom of it if you're Colton and actually like, figure out, okay, what is true, what is not?
Yeah,
I just want to get all the girls.
Well, right, and they're all like have their own self-interest.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show.
It's a show. It's a show. It turns out this is all for play. During Caitlin's one-on-one, Colton actually confronted Cailin about the information Tayshia relayed to him. As Colton, I mean, we've sort of, I guess, hit this, but how do you sort through what's gossip, what's real? Do you ever really know who to trust in that situation? Are you secretly going to the producers saying, like, who is full of it at this point?
I feel like at the end he resolved it himself to just trust his gut, and so he just needed to do that from the beginning.
Yeah, can he trust Cailin and Tayshia at the same time since they're both there? Does he have to choose a side? Because
first of all, it came out yesterday that Tayshia had a boyfriend up until the day she left. So
what?
Yeah.
Like, why are you calling other people out if like you're like doing something shady anyway?
And does that matter that much?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not a good look. But,
yeah.
Also, like, yes, the leads sometimes will go to producers and be like, "What the F is going on?"
Yeah.
You know, that does happen because you are trying to figure it out, and you realize that there's two sides to every story, and you probably realize that the truth's somewhere in the middle, and you don't really. And because it's not a matter of you don't know who to trust, because again, none of the women have these bad intentions. They all think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Chris Harrison seems like a great confidant. At least he plays that way on screen to The Bachelor during these times of like what's really going on. You picture him like Papa Harrison that's going to give advice. Is that the case?
It happens sometimes, but more often than not, the leads will, the producers are the ones who you're with every day, every moment. And so, you try to sometimes get some information about that, but most of the time you're just really doing it on your own.
Figuring it out.
Let's talk about Hannah B. So I thought this date was so cruel because he introduces her to the parents and then lets her go. Like, what?
It's like, she should have seen that, right?
That coming.
What were your thoughts on this? Because that was so painful to watch. I feel like he knew that he wasn't going to keep her.
I think so too, and I think it was a good way for him to see his parents without them getting attached to a girl that he wanted to take farther along. And
that's why.
I do. I don't think it was really
because he brought her home. It was more like this is the first girl they're meeting. They would get
Well, to me, it felt like maybe there was this. Maybe he already knew, and it was like maybe she'll click amazingly with the family, and this would be what changed it.
Maybe it'll change something.
My guess is he probably had an idea that he was going to send her home, and maybe he decided to use that time, that one-on-one time, to really kind of suss it out. I mean, the family aspect was probably more or less good TV in terms of the classic setup for the disappointment, but. Yeah, I mean, he probably was leaning towards she's not it, but I want to give her more. Like in that week, the lead will use that time to really try to figure out, you know, here are the people I'm certain of. Fine, that can go on the group date, you know, and then here are the people I'm like kind of on the fence about. So the three who had the one-on-ones, he probably was less certain than, you know, maybe Cassie or Hannah G. Or,
Did you guys think that was fair to Hannah? I felt like it was kicking someone when they're down. Because you know that she loves you, she said it, and then you're like, here, meet my parents. So then Hannah was convinced that.
Probably not Colton's call.
Probably not his call. But it also probably feels like, from her perspective, oh, great, the family must have hated me too.
No, she definitely.
Yeah, right?
And then, okay, so the group date this week was intense. First of all, Heather eliminated herself in the middle of the day, which I thought was so shocking. What was your reaction to that?
I was really shocked, but then again, I was just like, wow, that was kind of smart. She's like nipping it in the bud. She clearly sees that they're not gonna
get more people to kiss, you know?
Like, this was really great. Time to put it out there and see what happens.
Exactly. I'm not just kissing one dude. You know?
But that epic goodbye where, you know, it's so Bachelor-esque and like such a cliche for on a train into the mountain in the event.
Yeah, you put it on a train. I felt like it was very professional, like, you know,
cordial handshake. Bye-bye.
Is it common to go that far and still not really have feelings for the lead, or think you're not going to get there with him?
Yeah,
I think that happens a lot. I think you know it in your heart, you know, from the little sooner than that, and so it's good that she took herself out.
I think the top 3 or 4, there's a distinct, at this point in the season, everyone kind of knows where they stand or don't stand. I think some people are more honest with themselves about that than others, and I think she was very honest about it and decided to bow out before she was sent home.
I think it was Caitlin or something tweeted. It was so funny. She said that Heather has the biggest BDE out there because she goes from never being kissed to saying, all right,
I'm out of here.
Bye.
I saw that too. Let's do this. There was some drama between Cassie and Kirpa after Kirpa confirmed Tayshia's initial comments to Colton regarding Caila and Cassie. Take a look.
Why would you go spend your time talking to Colton about me?
I think he needs to know all the facts.
What? A lie?
It's not a lie.
It is a lie. It is a lie.
Not a lie.
I'm telling you right now.
Katie told the girls, and if you have a problem with it, then you need to call Katie up and confront her
let me
about
just grab my phone and call Katie right now.
She's the one that told him. He says he trusts Katie.
Okay, whatever.
If he trusts Katie.
Whatever.
Okay, you don't have anything to back it up.
Kirpa. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Kirpa stirring the pot here, Corinne?
I don't know. I just think it's like ridiculous. It's stupid and
a lot to do about nothing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying it's very confusing. It really was.
Well, the thing about Kirpa, she's very poised, right?
Yeah.
She comes across as very well-spoken and not catty, you know? So, her demeanor sounds but she's not saying anything, you know?
It's like almost like, wait, is she right? No, she just sounds smart.
She's just super adamant, though, to get her point across and to protect Colton because she has his best interest at heart. But at that point in the game, she kind of gave up on her own relationship if she's really watching out for other people.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I don't think Kirpa's just kind of like, hey, I'm here. Do you send me home? So, like, what do you want to know?
Yeah.
It's not gonna
Open book.
Yeah.
Don't care if
I don't really know.
Helps
whatever. Yeah, I mean, again, I think this whole notion that you're guilty if you are worried or if you react a certain way is kind of bogus.
Well, it puts you in a position that everything looks defensive after that, I think, when you're trying to make up for it. Here we go. Before the final rose was handed out, this dramatic twist, Caila shows up on the group date, asks to speak to Colton privately. We don't get to see or hear the conversation. I'm presuming this was a whole thing of protecting Cassie. What do you think?
Yeah.
No.
100%.
No? You don't think so?
No, I think it was 100% her protecting herself.
Yeah?
I don't know, yeah.
But the drama didn't have to do with Caitlyn.
She was called out earlier that episode for it's Cassie and Caila kind of in this thing, and that those two intentions are being questioned. So it was 100%, which is fine. She wants to go in there and double check. Hey, we're good going into hometowns. I don't think it had anything to do with Cassie, and if it had anything to do with Cassie, they're lumped in together. So if she's protecting Cassie's, she's protecting herself.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I think
there's no way she was just like,
let me just tell you why I love this other girl.
I don't have a problem with it. She, you want to
That's what you're doing, right?
She has an emotional connection with Colton. No one likes their intentions being questioned, especially with ridiculous accusations that are meaningless. And so, she just wants to make sure going into hometowns that Colton really believes what she's saying to him, and that's
okay.
What she's doing.
Caila, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I feel like by the end of this point too, actually, I forgot where I was going. Sorry, you talked so long. I was like, my bad. Anyway, it was a good episode.
He's closer to finding love.
Yeah, he's closer to finding love.
Going into hometowns, I mean, as a former Bachelor, how important are hometowns? And what's the feeling when you're gonna have these women meet your parents?
It's stressful. At that point, it's
I'd say so.
It's not easy. It's the hardest week for sure because you're bringing other families and you're trying to be respectful of that. And chances are you have stronger feelings for some than others, and you don't really get a choice, and you're trying to you're really honestly, you're just trying to be as respectful as possible to the families and understanding that they didn't sign up for it, even though their daughters did.
And in your mind, are you still deciding between the girls, or do you kind of already know?
I think at that point in the season, certainly you try to have an open mind, but you know where your heart's pulling you.
Unless something really pivotal happens that changes it, right?
Yeah, but there's no way no bachelor or bachelorette's gone into hometown saying, I got 4 people and it's a 4-way tie. It's never happened.
What do you think Colton would be saying to his family before they end up meeting the girls? What kind of prep do you do? Is there any?
Hey, just get ready. Hey, it's so good to see you. You're gonna meet this really nice girl. I like her. Be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, there's a chance that Colton probably didn't spend any more time, whatever you saw before, he didn't get to hang out with his family off camera.
Yeah.
Corinne, what are the girls thinking going into this, the hometowns?
I was so excited. I actually started jumping up and down. I thought you had left, and then you were standing right behind me. It was actually really embarrassing, but I was so excited. I was also so excited to see my mom and dad.
Right.
And I remember just going up in the elevator with you. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is happening.
To finally bring them all in,
and I'm so excited to get to see my family. It was just so emotional walking in, and you're just so excited, and everything's great.
And how do you plan your hometown date? You want to find the most exciting thing, or the thing you connect to the most?
Yeah, I just wanted to go shopping really bad.
Fun date. I had fun.
It worked out. Yeah, we all loved it. It was one of the most cute, adorable days.
Probably the most fun day portion of my hometowns. It was better than mud.
I had a really good time. It was just a fun day, and everything was great.
Rachel took me to church.
Well, I mean, anyway. So glad that worked out. Yeah, Caila, what about you? What do you think about like the anticipation that they have going on?
I feel like it's the first time too that the women get control of the day, and so they're just so excited to. I took Ben to you know, my parents' toy factory, and it was just really exciting to get creative and have a little fun and get loose. So I really loved it, and seeing your parents is priceless.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Little game time. Nick, you're no stranger to giving love and dating advice on your podcast. The Viall Files, love it.
Yeah, which is really great, by the way.
We're hoping you to answer some of our staff's burning questions about dating. Here we go.
All right.
On the spot.
And you guys can obviously chime in because you know about dating as well.
Cool. All
right.
Nick, can you pick out of the jar there?
Okay.
Here we go.
These are real concerns from some of our staff.
I've been talking to this guy for about 2 months, and have gone on a total of 7 dates. That's a lot with him, and it seems like he's really into me, okay? What's the safest way to ask him about defining the relationship that won't scare him off? Listen, you've been dating for 2 months. You've been on 7 dates. Like, just ask him. Like, too soon. I mean, like.
Yeah, but dating nowadays, everyone.
If asking him to define the relationship after 7 dates in 2 months scares him off, he's not your guy.
What do you guys think?
7 dates? That's like only 1 whole week of dating now.
I'm assuming that over 2 months, this is not The Bachelor. I'm assuming.
I mean, you ain't been talking the whole time.
I'm assuming over 2 months, there's 7 dates and like texting, and that would be my guess.
Also, like if you're dating someone, you should be unfiltered. So just ask him. I'm with you.
All right.
I think people spend too much time trying to figure out.
I think
people
I have
like
given
them.
similar advice to this person as well. Just
Oh,
be
yeah?
honest, have the honest talk.
You know who it is.
You can't be afraid for them to not want what you want. Yeah.
I'm like, after the second date, I'm like, hey, you're my boyfriend.
Clears it up right there.
Number one, a go-to pickup. What is your number one game go-to?
A game.
move?
A game.
Pick up someone.
Yeah,
like
a game. Number one go-to move to pick up someone.
Ooh.
Hi.
Like you're at a bar.
Hi, how's it going?
That's all.
How's it going?
Well, you're Nick Viall. That's all it takes.
No, I mean, listen. I think the best. Everyone wants to be funny. Right? It's not easy to do, to like have to go up to a bar and try to be funny. Sometimes unless you're really good at being funny, you end up being awkward and maybe do something that seems forced. So if you don't know what to do, I think the best thing to do is just be genuine, say hi, ask them a question, be sincere. If you want to throw it a line, like, you know, if there's a dartboard there or a pool table, ask them if they want a shot at the title.
Oh, shot at the title.
What about for you?
That's cute.
Yeah.
You could do like lifting the bridge thing. Like,
what about for you?
I don't know if I'm closet funny anymore. I might just be funny.
I think you're all out. No. Wait, what about for you ladies? What's the best kind of pickup line or move that someone has done and it worked?
something like my humor is very like silly, like things that like normal grown-ups don't laugh at. So like if you're just doing something silly and funny, or just say something silly, or maybe like a SpongeBob reference, I'm in.
SpongeBob, the way you
I am in.
For me, it's like that quirky, goofy dance move that a guy does where he doesn't know if he's doing a good job dancing. I just love, you know, seeing a guy let loose.
Wow, that's risky, guys. Enter with caution on that one.
Last one.
That works on Caila and no one else. Every other guy just looks like a friend.
I've gone on a few dates with this guy, and I really like him. The problem is he has BO.
Oh no.
It's really bad.
Oh, run.
Almost like he doesn't wash his clothes or shower. What do I do?
No.
That is a tough call. I think you just have to maybe ask.
You can't. At some point, you have to have a sit down,
or
right?
tell him.
Just like, hey, I like you a lot, but hey, just so you know, you gotta.
That's
clean
hard
it up.
to say to someone.
Right? It's hard to say to someone's face.
You don't want to be defensive.
And it will be devastating.
Maybe some alternatives if you're friends with any of their friends.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe kind of do some like deep recon, ask around. If you don't have that luxury, you know, maybe just eventually be like, hey, I really like you, but you stink.
Yeah.
Maybe do some essential oils around the guy.
Maybe this. Tell us about your essential oils.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I founded an essential oil company. We're USDA organic certified. We specialize in blends. We have roll-ons. They're designed for anxiety and sleep, headaches, immunity boost, and mental clarity. NHOils.com. Natural Habits on Instagram.
On the wrists and stuff?
Yeah, roll-on. We're launching a diffuser line in a few weeks for a diffuser, and they're blended, ready to go out of the box for specific use, and they've helped me a lot with my anxiety and headaches, and so I'm just trying to kind of bring that to everyone else.
I told you guys.
If you smell, I think
if you smell, maybe you do that. And my wife and I are on this train. Can't wait for your rollout. Thank you guys so much for being here, sharing your thoughts. To follow Colton's journey to find love with The Bachelor, Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. Check it out on ABC. Coming up tomorrow, guys, Can you believe it's been 20 years since Rob Thomas and Santana Smooth? I can't believe it. We love the song. We're going to be chatting with Rob about that. And by the way, he has new music coming out as well.
Plus, we're joined live by former Bachelorette Ali Fedotowsky, candidate for The Bachelor. She's talking mom life, married life, and so much more. Thanks for watching. See you guys.
Bye, guys.